Force Base. What do you think?
I like it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's very cool. Very cool. Hello. Welcome to another addition to our caseload. This is Dover Air Force Base. My name is Rick Cohert.
Wendy Robinson.
And Tara Jones.
And Tara is our expert in the historic part of things. We're going to go over a little bit of Jonestown. Wendy has gone over the Jonestown thing, and I kind of lived it through the news and everything else. A terrible, terrible thing. People don't remember it. If you want to Google it, find out. But it's a very gruesome tale of Christians going to another utopia and madmen getting them involved and taking them all to their deaths in an untimely way. You're asking us, why are we talking about that here? Well, the hangar here was used as a temporary morgue during the time. And what year was it?
1978.
1978. And what happened was they put them in temporary coffins, and everybody knows that all the dead overseas always end up at Dover Air Force Base.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But with a caseload of 920 some people,
Yeah, it sounds about that. Yeah.
they didn't have the facilities to use it. This hangar was new then, and they use it as a temporary morgue. Along with that, I'll tell you what I know. After it was used, it was retro cleaned and everything else, but while it was being used, it stunk. The air conditioning was on here, but it really wasn't capable of carrying that many bodies for that many weeks here. The coffins were temporary, and they started to leak.
Well, they were really decomposed
When
they found them.
Yes, they were. They were there in a jungle, and you can tell us a little bit more about that. But at the time they got here, they were in really bad shape. And so they actually had to take some of the bodies out and rinse off the coffins and everything else. And they used a sewer drain to do so. In doing that, they stunk up all of Dover. Wow. I want to understand the smell. And there's a certain smell here that people say they still smell. It's the smell of death. Not like a deer. It's a different type of smell. You know it's a person that died. Also, there's rumors of voodoo curses that were put on these people as they were board planes. A lot of the local authorities and witch doctors and all that put a hex on whoever handled the bodies or whatever. At our feet here, if you could span down, are all the dead that are on this floor. 920 some, I believe, 28. They were all brought in here. How many kids? 30?
276.
Kids?
Children.
276 kids.
As young
What
as
a crime
3 months,
shame.
I think.
And I'm holding in my hand an autopsy report that Tara gave me just now. I'm going to put that on top of this. It's the autopsy of the devil himself, Jim Jones. That man is responsible for all those people. There ought to be a special hell for him.
I agree.
Anyway, we won't get into that. But if there's anything going on here in the hangar, we're going to find out tonight for sure. We have a tape we're going to use of his speeches and all that. So we'll see if we can get something going. But I have to say that whole story and the whole saga of this thing just makes me want to barf.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Very sad.
Very sad.
Could you give us some information, Tara or Wendy, about what was the mood of these people and why they were there?
Sure, I can do some of the general, and then you can fill in some of the specifics. The cult, for lack of a better word, the group was formed in 1956 by Jim Jones. It was originally formed as a Christian group. They decided to move to Guyana in South America to set up a self-supporting, self-sustaining environment, community. And once there, the community grew so fast that they couldn't keep up with the rate of the births, etc. Tara?
So I'm not quite sure what the reasoning for him, for the massacre.
Well, the massacre, as they were leading him down, he told them that there was a utopia waiting for him, especially
Okay,
when he
after
was
that.
sent by God to make sure that they get there, and the only way to get there is through him. He became their Messiah.
Okay.
So he led them down the path of destruction. He also forced people to drink
Yeah.
the tainted Kool-Aid.
Yeah, so first he sent some men out to kill some officials, a senator, I believe.
Yes, he did.
That was
They had a
close
whole
by.
news team there that was killed, and that was a big deal.
And then they came back, and then they started with the children. And then, as far as I understand, the parents killed their own children.
Yes.
Needless
And
syringes,
Yes, and then later on, there were some people that didn't want to cooperate.
and they held them at gunpoint until they did it.
Yeah,
So every
So,
person.
every
as far as I
person drank the
understand,
drink.
Yes.
and by the time they got to him, they were so decomposed, it was a terrible
Yeah, it was
thing.
4 days later because of the tropical heat.
Right,
that they had a horrible time identifying the bodies.
right.
And Jim Jones himself died of a gunshot wound to the head.
Yeah, he didn't drink his own juice.
And they're not sure if it was suicide or if someone else did it. They couldn't, because he was so highly decomposed, they couldn't tell.
Right, well, what we should do is put his death right on top of him, because he's to blame for these people. Anyway, we're going to go in here, we're going to film the night, we're going to try to get as much stuff as we can. This whole hangar was used. They were stacked three high. They were on rollers, I understand. They moved them around at times because they were leaking, and they would sweep them up and do everything they could to keep them here. But they were here for a period of time while Congress was trying to figure out what they were going to do.
And 7 of the autopsies, including that of Jim Jones, were actually conducted right here in the hangar.
Right. So they were actually done here. So he was with his people, so to speak. Anyway, so we're going to go lights out. We set up the cameras and all. We're going to go through the camera angle soon, and we'll see you in a short. Bye. Hey, well, Steve-O, with the camera angles tonight here at Dover Air Force Base. This will be actually for both nights. Okay, this is part of the hangar itself. This is the south wall. Of course, this was the hangar that Jim Jones's bodies were laid here.
Okay.
So that's camera. And this camera here is the far wall facing the airport itself. This camera there is there's Tara walking. Is facing the right side corner of that same wall. This is the sleepy time. This was used as spare parts, so you never know. So I decided to put a camera there.
Alrighty.
This is a unique picture here. This is the C-47 Sky train. People have seen somebody in the cockpit door. Hundreds of people have seen him, and they say that he comes and goes really fast. So get out there. Also, when we did jump commands last time, we saw windows black out here. So we're going to see if we have that too. So every window can be seen with that plane. This is the inside of the seat, the C-47, looking from the back door to the cockpit. This is the cockpit itself. And we're back to there. Thank you for the angles, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
It's time to go green.
let's go green.